In January 2023, the HITRUST Alliance released HITRUST CSF v11, which involves substantial changes over CSF v9.6. Based on extensive feedback from the community, the newest iteration was designed to better address evolving cyber threats, incorporate new standards, and make it simpler for organizations to achieve certification. So what has changed with v11? Stay tuned for 8 major changes you need to know about. 1. Traversible Portfolio. With v11, HITRUST has altered its assessment offerings in part to make its portfolio traversible, which means it's easier for organizations to move from lower level to higher level certifications. The 3 current assessments include HITRUST R2, the most rigorous assessment, HITRUST I1, a moderate assessment, HITRUST E1, an entry-level assessment. Previously, the 3 assessments offered by HITRUST had some overlapping control requirements, but not all lower-level requirements were included in higher-level assessments, leaving organizations that completed I1 disappointed to find that the work they did for that assessment could not be reused for the R2 assessment. With CSF v11, HITRUST ensures that the assessment levels are completely nested, so organizations can move quickly and efficiently from a lower level to a higher level assessment, and even use I1 and E1 as on-ramps to R2. 2. Threat adaptive controls. When the I1 assessment was introduced in 2021, HITRUST made it threat adaptive, meaning that it leverages continuously updated threat intelligence and integrates best practices that help protect against evolving cyber threats. This assessment was designed to stay current with new threats while retiring controls that are no longer needed. With CSF v9.6, the threat adaptive capabilities of the I1 assessment were not included in the R2 assessment. Now, with the nesting of the assessments in v11, the entire portfolio is threat adaptive. 3. Rapid recertification. CSF v11 introduces the I1 Rapid Recertification Assessment, an accelerated path for achieving I1 recertification. Instead of having to complete an entire I1 assessment every year, the I1 Rapid Recertification Assessment allows you to achieve recertification by demonstrating that your control environment has not materially degraded since the previous full I1 assessment was performed. You can use this recertification process every other year between full I1 assessments. 4. Broadened authoritative sources. The HITRUST CSF maps requirements from key standards or authoritative sources to specific controls. With CSF v11, HITRUST has added 2 new authoritative sources: the NIST SP 853 Revision 5 and Health Industry Cybersecurity Practices Standards. Organizations that achieve certification can signal their compliance with more standards to partners and customers. 5. Clearer language. Previously, the evaluative elements, the criteria that organizations must meet to comply with a requirement, were often long-winded and difficult to decipher. With CSF v11, HITRUST has broken the text into numbered statements that are better formatted for readability. Additionally, HITRUST updated the illustrative procedures for clarity, using more concise wording. As a result, it's easier to understand each requirement and conduct assessments. 6. Fewer requirements. CSF v11 has reduced the number of requirement statements in the I1 and R2 assessments. For example, the I1 assessment previously had 219 requirement statements. With CSF v11, it has 182. These reductions enable you to achieve certification faster and with less effort than before. 7. Continued inheritance. To speed the journey to certification, organizations often inherit compliance controls from HITRUST certified cloud and managed services providers. In other words, once your organization has determined which controls you must attest to, you do not have to implement controls that your certified cloud or managed service provider has already covered, allowing you to achieve certified status faster. The opportunity to inherit controls from external organizations increases with CSF v11. You can learn more about inheritance and how it can help make the HITRUST journey easier in our video entitled How the Cloud Accelerates HITRUST. 8. Sunsetting older versions. With the introduction of CSF v11, HITRUST will begin gradually retiring older CSF versions, but that sunsetting process will be very gradual, giving all organizations sufficient time to transition to the new version. So, as a recap, HITRUST v11 includes 8 major changes. Traversible Portfolio, Threat Adaptive Controls, Rapid Recertification, Broadened Authoritative Sources, Clearer Language, Fewer Requirements, Continued Inheritance, and Sunsetting Older Versions. Want to learn more about CSF v11? Download the white paper at www.cloudticity.com/CSF v11 for more information, or schedule a free consultation with a Cloudticity HITRUST expert. As a certified HITRUST inheritance provider, we can help you accelerate the path to HITRUST and reduce the time, money, and effort required to get there with our inheritable controls. Reach out to us at www.cloudticity.com/HITRUST. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.